battle COVID is the vaccine, and it is powerful. And as of now, we can vaccinate kids ages 12 and up, and that has been a huge relief, I know, for many parents, and it is a significant step in our battle against COVID-19. As more people are vaccinated, it helps us return to the life we all want to live. So this Ohio Vax-a-Million campaign is designed to do just that. This is a public outreach campaign consisting of a series of statewide drawings to increase awareness of the availability and efficacy of COVID-19 vaccines and provide incentives to Ohioans to get a COVID-19 vaccination so we can return to the life that we would like in Ohio. Let's talk about the program itself. Ohioans 12 to 17 years of age who have received at least their first COVID-19 vaccination will be entered into a drawing for one of 5 scholarships managed by the College Advantage Direct 529 Savings Plan. The scholarship will be for an Ohio State public college or university in the amount of the qualifying expenses for in-state tuition, books, and room and board for a 4-year program, 2-year program, community college program, or technical or trade school. Ohioans 18 years of age or older who have received at least their first COVID-19 vaccination if receiving Pfizer or Moderna, or 1 dose if receiving the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, have a chance to win one of 5 $1 million prizes. Now, this is all information that you've been provided already. As we talk about the pool of drawing, I want to note for you probably the biggest change from what you've heard so far about this, about Ohio's Vax-a-Million. We have made a very notable change to the design of the Ohio Vax-a-Million drawing that we announced last Wednesday. After consultation with the governor, Ohio Vax-a-Million will be an opt-in program. We had discussions about using our Ohio voter rolls as well as the opt-in program, but we are asking Ohioans to register for the drawing by visiting www.ohiovaxamillion.com or by calling the Ohio Department of Health call center at 1-833-4-ASK-ODH. Registration is going to be quick and easy. This will be an opt-in program only. We will be drawing from those individuals who opt in, and they can opt in again either by getting on the website or by calling the number, giving the information, and being entered that way. I have with me Ohio Lottery Director, Director McDonald. He's going to discuss the drawing and the schedules. Director, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you very much. We're thrilled to assist the governor and the Department of Health in this exciting effort to motivate Ohioans to get vaccinated. As Director McLeod just outlined, Ohio's vaccinated adults will have a chance to win $1 million, and our youth ages 12 to 17 will have a chance to win a 4-year full ride scholarship, including room and board, tuition, and books to any Ohio State college or university. With this Vax-a-Million drawing, your odds are great too. Every vaccinated Ohioan is eligible by simply entering on our website. So here's the details of how to enter. Beginning on May 18th, you can opt in and enter on the website. If you don't have access to the internet, don't worry, we got you covered. Just call the ODH hotline at 1-833-4-ASK-ODH, and we'll be happy to get you entered. One sign up is good for the entire 5 rounds. And remember, any Ohio resident, regardless of where you got your vaccination, is eligible. Every entry received will be stored in the appropriate Vax-a-Million database based on the entrant's birth date. Immediately following the cutoff date of the collection period, the databases will be reviewed to ensure any duplicate entries are removed. Once the review process is completed, each entrant is assigned a number and will be entered into that week's drawing. Beginning Monday, May 24th, the lottery will conduct the $1 million and the scholarship Vax-a-Million drawings for the next 5 weeks. The last drawing will take place on June 21st. Winners will be announced on Wednesdays beginning May 26th and conclude on June 23rd. The drawings will be conducted via a random number generator and attended by the lottery draw security and IT staff and observed by representatives from the Auditor of State's office. The lottery draw staff will then run test draws to verify the machine works properly using the same parameters as the real drawings. Once the test draw results are verified by the auditor, the real drawing will commence. The draw staff will enter the universe of numbers based on the numbers of entrants into the random number generator. There will be one winner and several alternates selected for each drawing. The winning number will then be entered into the database where the winners will be selected. The report will then be reviewed and signed off by the lottery draw staff and state auditor's representative. The original is filed by the lottery officials. Then the information will be sent to the Ohio Department of Health. The Ohio Department of Health will then verify the eligibility of the respective winners. In the event that the winner has not been vaccinated, the first alternate will be selected and their vaccination will be verified. This process will repeat until a qualified entrant is found. The winners of each prize will be announced on Wednesday during the lottery's regular evening pick 3, 4, 5 drawing, which are at approximately 7:29 p.m. You can check the website for your local listing to watch it live. The first one will be announced on May 26th. Again, for the $1 million prize, you must be an Ohio resident and at least 18 years of age. Vaccinated with at least your first shot before the week's drawing, Sunday at 11:59. So remember, if you want your shot at $1 million, enter online at ohiovax-a-million.com. For the scholarship, you must be an Ohio resident, ages 12 to 17, vaccinated with at least your first shot before the week's drawing, and enter it onto the Ohio Vax-a-Million website. And again, the website will launch tomorrow, May 18th at 8 a.m. But if you need help, call 1-833-4-ASK-ODH. We're so thrilled to be a part of this innovative incentive to help Ohio's bounce back for the pandemic. Now I'll turn it back to Director McLeod to discuss the verification process. Thank you.
Thank you, Director McDonald. As he stated, an eligible individual, so our first drawing is going to take place on May 24th, 2021. That means if we play this out by May 23rd, 2021 at 11:59 p.m., the individual, in order to be eligible, must have at least their first dose of either Pfizer or Moderna, or the one dose of Johnson & Johnson, and they must have entered the drawing through our opt-in process, either through the internet or by phone. They must have entered before those two events, before the drawing takes place. The drawing will take place, the first one, March 24th at 7:30 p.m. and the winner will be announced May 24th at 7:30 p.m. and the winner will be announced on May 26th at 7:30 p.m. We use that time in between for the verification process because we want to verify that the person has been vaccinated and meets the other eligibility requirements as certified to in the opt-in process. All other weeks will follow a similar process. Those who enter Vax-a-Million are authorizing ODH to verify their vaccination records, ensuring that they have received the vaccine. They may also be asked to provide vaccination card for verification at the department's discretion, if in fact we need that as well. If your entry is selected, you will be contacted via the information from your registration form. This is a very exciting time in Ohio. This is a bold initiative, and we are so proud to bring it to Ohioans to hopefully turn the tide on COVID and to continue to bring Ohioans to a healthier state and get the upper hand on COVID-19. At this time, Dan, I'm sure there are lots of questions, and we would, Director McDonald and I would be welcome those questions.
All right, directors, we have 19 media outlets currently in the question queue, and I'll go through the order in which they signed up in the Zoom chat. Our first question is from Geoff Redick at WSYX in Columbus.
Good morning, Director. The Ohio Controlling Board, of course, appropriated the money for this contest through an appropriation to Ohio Department of Health. Several of them are rather incensed that they approved money they did not know was going to be used in this manner. So can you say, is this money from one Controlling Board appropriation of federal funds or from several? And did ODH anticipate at the time that any of the money would be used in a sweepstakes or a random drawing? In other words, is this an appropriate way based on the appropriation of funding?
Thank you, Jeff. That's a great question. As far as the Controlling Board approvals, we can get you the specifics on when those took place, but it is legal to use the funds for what we're using them for. This is a CARES Act, and the CARES Act dollars require that payments from the Coronavirus Relief Fund only be used to cover expenses that, specifically necessary expenditures incurred due to the public health emergency with respect to the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19, and were not accounted for in the budget most recently approved in March of 2020. That's the date of enactment of the CARES Act for the state or government. And that these costs must be incurred during the period that begins from March 1st, 2020 and ends on December 31st, 2020. That is the guidance from the Treasury. We have to use this money. I mean, the idea is, behind this money, it is broadly interpreted in the statute to bring awareness, to help encourage and to facilitate uptake of the vaccine. With regard to your question of whether this was contemplated, what I would tell you is it's hard for me to say. Governor DeWine contemplates all sorts of things at any given time. If you know anything about our governor, he is bold in his initiatives. He is broad thinking in how we can help Ohioans. Did we have specifically, was there a yes, specifically, we're going to use this for that and not disclose it? No, that was not the case. But to say it wasn't on the table, it had, everything's on the table at all points. And anything that is appropriate, we intended to use this. We knew that we were going to find innovative ways to bring this to Ohio, to bring vaccine education and vaccine uptake to Ohioans. And that was our goal at the time of the Controlling Board. And we think this meets that goal. Thank you, Jeff.
Next question is from Danny Eldredge at Hannah News Service.
Hello, directors. I don't know who wants to take this, but can you talk a little bit more about why you changed to an opt-in? Was it a legal issue? Was it a technological issue? Or can you just talk a little bit more about that?
Thank you. I will take that question. Using the opt-in questionnaire will allow ODH to verify the eligibility and vaccinations of participants much more quickly. In the opt-in, we're asking participants to provide contact information that for the Secretary of State may be optional for voter registration, and they may not have provided it. That could slow down our ability to locate them. And obviously we want to move this as quickly as we can. And we want to be able to contact and verify them within that 48 hours. Using only opt-in registrations obviously also greatly increases the chances that someone who is eligible and vaccinated will be drawn as the winner, since they have represented that to us during the opt-in process. And it also allows those, if there's someone who, for whatever reason, may not want to participate, we didn't have to focus on an opt-out process. So by having opt-in, we know we have the contact information where they would like to be contacted, and we can do so quickly. Thank you.
Next question is from Farnoush Amiri at the Associated Press.
Hello. My question is a little bit of a clarification of what it means specifically to be an Ohio resident. Is that for 30 days, for 6 months? Could someone have moved here last week? Can you clarify that a little bit?
Thank you. They need to be a permanent Ohio resident, and we will be following the same guidelines and statute that makes you eligible to register to vote, to receive an Ohio driver's license, those things.
Next question is from Laura Hancock at cleveland.com.
Hello, I was wondering, Director McLeod, how is healthcare privacy going to be protected in this process with HIPAA? Thank you.
As part of the opt-in process, individuals will in fact be making a waiver to the department that we are able to access and verify. We ask in the opt-in process, we will be asking where and when you received your vaccine, what city and state, and we will be you will essentially waive and allow us to verify that if you'd like to participate. And by all means, that was part of the entire opt-out, worrying about that. You do not need to enter if you have concerns about that.
Can you choose to not have your name announced publicly if you won, but you don't want people to know you won?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
Next question is from Jim Provance at the Toledo Blade.
Hi, Director. Thanks for doing this morning. Can you tell me whether or not, does the person who applies have to be vaccinated? I mean, can somebody participate if they have a medical reason for not being vaccinated, for instance, not being eligible for a vaccine for no reason, for no fault of their own?
Thank you for that question. At this point, this is a Vax-a-Million drawing, and the drawing is going to be for individuals who have started their vaccine. Very small number of people who may not be able to take the vaccine as a result of an anaphylactic response to ingredients in the vaccine. Very small number of people, but like with the rest of the money, whether we were to use this for promotions, PSAs, things like that, it's going to be directed at those people eligible to take the vaccine up.
Next question is from Josh Rultenberg at Spectrum News.
Hi, this question is for Director McLeod. Director, as the director of the Ohio Department of Health, do you think that the state could use $5 million in a better way to address any health concerns instead of just giving it away in a lottery?
Thank you, Josh. This money is specifically must be used in the manner that I described earlier, that we are required to use it to respond to COVID-19 and to respond to the encourage and facilitate vaccine uptake. This program has been very, very successful. We are very, very pleased in increasing public awareness of the availability and effectiveness of the vaccines. As we think about, how else does, $5 million, do you want to spend $5 million on additional PSAs or billboards? As you know, this has generated by the folks on this press briefing, this has generated national attention, international attention. Social media is lit up, conversations that I'm hearing between lots of outside folks that are talking. This has been very successful. This past Friday was our highest vaccine administration day in 3 weeks since April 23rd. We had 25,414 shots administered. And I know there's a question about the fact that it was opened up to those individuals who are 12 to 15 years old, and that some people may think, well, that's what's attributing to the uptake. During that 3-week time period that I just outlined, people who were ages 30 to 74, we were experiencing a 24% decrease week over week for those prior 2 Fridays. Last Friday, that age group saw a 6% increase. So not only have we achieved our goal of increasing public awareness and interest, but we have slowed what was a consistent decline in uptake. And in certain age groups, we're seeing an increase again. And so this is doing exactly what we intended it to do. I think it has been very successful. And I think, again, I don't know for $5 million or for the amount of the scholarships that this would be something that we could have spent in other ways to get this much attention, interest, uptake.
Next question is from Clay LePard at WEWS in Cleveland.
Hi, everybody. This question is for Pat. Will winners be able to not necessarily try to collect their winnings anonymously, but can they set up a trust in the same way you can with the Ohio lottery system?
Good question. We have thought this through, and it is separate than a lottery draw. As you know, this is administered through the Department of Health. We're just facilitating it. We want and are requiring the individual to be known and make it public, the winner. We think it's a public record. We think it's exciting, entertaining to allow the Ohio residents to know who the winner is.
Next question is from John London at WLWT in Cincinnati.
Yes, I'm wondering how much tax will be taken out of the million for whoever wins the drawings. And if I register as vaccinated and I'm not vaccinated, what happens?
Director McDonald?
Sure, you would be ineligible. We will, review and send down to the Department of Health. If you registered, on the website as vaccinated, we will verify that you are vaccinated and contact you. So if you falsify the form, we will just, move on to the alternate after that.
Your question as to whether the prizes are taxable. For the drawing for Ohioans 18 years of age and over, the winner will be responsible for any taxes associated with the prize. An IRS Form 1099 will be issued to each winner. All federal, state, and local laws and regulations will apply. For the drawing for Ohioans ages 12 to 17, the funds will be distributed by the Ohio Department of Health to the College Advantage Direct 529 Savings Plan to manage the scholarship fund for the recipient who becomes the beneficiary. While there's no tax liability for the beneficiary on qualified tuition and related expenses, at least at this time, there may be tax liability for room and board expenses, if applicable, at the time that those are drawn down.
Next question is from James Pilcher at WKRC in Cincinnati.
Good morning. Following up on the college scholarship issue, can the student pick their own school that they want to go to apply that scholarship, or how does that work? So if a student wants to go to Ohio State or Ohio University, do they get to pick where they go as long as they meet the admissions criteria?
That is correct. Thank you. Yes, they can pick the Ohio University that they would like to attend, the Ohio State University that they would like to attend. And again, it doesn't guarantee entry, admittance, or anything else. That's still going to have to be the hard work on their part, but it does pay for 4 years for those individuals.
Next question is from Courtney Wheaton at WKEF in Dayton.
Hi, thank you. Basically, I want to know where herd immunity stands. Is that something we're still trying to reach at this point, since most of the restrictions have been released? What's next for that? Because I know that was the governor's push, but now that restrictions are relaxed, where do we go from here?
Thank you for that question. I can let you ask the governor more about that this afternoon, but certainly herd immunity is ideal, which is why we continue to push the benefits of vaccination and being careful for those who choose not to vaccinate until we can really get COVID under control. And we're going to continue toward that goal. If you know Governor Mike DeWine, you know he does not give up. So we continue to march toward that goal. Getting every person vaccinated is every person vaccinated, and it's one less person to spread it to someone else, which means fewer people getting it, as well as just that person.
Next question is from Laura Bischoff at Gannett, Ohio.
Yes, Director McLeod, I was wondering, I'm thinking you guys are about to get 3 to 5 million hits on that website. Could you describe what kind of capacity you have? Are you ready? If it does crash, what's your advice to Ohioans who want to get registered?
Thank you, Laura. We are actually pleased and very grateful to be able to use the Ohio Lotteries system that they have set up. So I will turn this over to Director McDonald to answer your question.
Hi there, Laura. We, as you know, are a big agency that we take in over $4 billion a year. So our website is very robust and very important to us. We have the protocols and security in place to ensure, security measures, with the anti-hacking and so forth. Knock on wood, you always have the opportunity that somebody to outsmart us, but we think that we are robust enough to ensure that we have the capability and capacity for up to 10 million entries. So we are very confident in our security and how our system is laid out and developed. And right now I have on our line our IT and our director of gaming, and she will give you some great details of this. Maureen?
Thank you, Director. And Laura, as the director said, obviously, we have an infrastructure that is created to deal with drawings on a daily basis, entry on a daily basis, jackpots up to $1 billion. We have beefed up everything, and we certainly have the security protocols in place to ensure minimal downtime if it happens. And we have plans in place in case the website goes down for any other reason, that we can move it quickly and make sure it's up for the citizens of Ohio.
Next question is from Dan DeRoos at WOIO in Cleveland.
Director, you're going to have a lot of people questioning the drawing and the legitimacy. Obviously, the power of the Ohio Lottery behind it is phenomenal, and I believe a lot of people trust in that. What assurances and what do you want to tell people who say that this is going to be rigged, or that maybe somebody from overseas is going to try and jump into this and overload and get a bunch of entries in?
Thank you. I will also turn this over to Director McDonald and his team.
Good question. I hope that the lottery has proven itself over the many years that we have been existing, that you can trust us. We have a lot of integrity. I think our players, know that we don't rig, know that that we are very proud of what we do. There's a lot of integrity with the Ohio Lottery for over the years. So I think, people might question that, but look at our history. Look where the experience that we have in running lotteries. I mean, we're talking about right now, $468 million for a Mega Millions draw that will happen on Tuesday. So that's our experience. I think people, our players, and I hope all Ohioans trust the Ohio Lottery and know that we are here with integrity and the utmost confidence you can have in ensuring that this draw will be fair for every Ohioan who's eligible and enters into the database.
Next question is from Dave Nethers at WJW in Cleveland.
Thank you. Actually, many of my questions have already been answered. Thank you, Director McLeod. I wanted, though, to clarify, there's been, in the publicity leading up to this discussion of people having to be registered voters in Ohio, and that the names would be, you'd have to be on the rolls as a registered voter. Is that in fact the case?
Thank you. That is not the case. You simply need to meet those eligibility requirements outlined by Director McDonald, that you are a permanent Ohio resident, that you've had your first dose of the vaccine, and the other items which he outlined. But those are the two most important, that you have entered into the opt-in process, either through the internet or by phone, and that you are a permanent Ohio resident, and you have received at least your first dose of the vaccine. You do not need to be a registered voter. Thank you.
Next question is from Andy Chow at Ohio Public Radio and Television.
Hi, everybody. We've talked about how the winners will be announced on that Wednesday. As far as the actual drawing that takes place, will that be something that can be viewed by the public? What kind of transparency will happen when it comes to the actual drawing that takes place?
Thank you. I can let Director McDonald talk about how actually unexciting the process is, digital drawings are, but no, the short answer is no. They will not be announced until the Wednesday evening around 7:29 p.m. I know there was a question as to whether the individual would be notified. If we are able to verify and do everything that we need to do to ensure that this person in fact meets all the criteria, they will be told that Wednesday night. If for some reason we believe they are ineligible, we reserve the right to contact that individual to provide additional information for verification purposes. And so in those instances, they may be contacted in advance, but it would be my goal at least that we don't until the Wednesday drawing. Director McDonald, do you want to talk about how exciting the digital drawing is?
Or how unexciting it is, Director McLeod. It's a random number generator computer. And so each individual who enters is assigned a unique number or an identifier. So as you can imagine, as a computer software program, it goes through and will generate a number to each individual, and those winners will be selected. We will select one winner, and then we have alternates. As we submit those names to the Department of Health, they will then go and review all the eligibility and ensure that an individual is vaccinated. So that's important for us to do internally. We want to make it a wow factor, to be honest. We want on Wednesday, every Ohioan who registered and even who hasn't registered, tune in and watch who is the first $1 million winner. We also have the state auditor who will be with us for transparency. We have experienced draw professionals from our staff who has done this for many years that will be there to verify the process and to ensure it's done with the utmost integrity.
Next question is from Jake Zuckerman at the Ohio Capitol Journal.
Hi, this is for Director McLeod. I just want to ask, I just looked, and right now we're around like 42.6% of the state has received their first shot of the COVID vaccine. What does success in this program look like in terms of vaccine coverage? At the time of the last drawing, what is the goal of coverage that you would like to see that would render this a success?
Thank you, Jake. It is not a numeric goal. I think as I mentioned earlier, we are already seeing the success of this program, which was and is to turn the tide, to create awareness, to make sure that those individuals who may not fully understand may now have an interest in asking the questions that they may have put off asking about the vaccine and whether or not they want to get it, because maybe they were in a wait and see mode, but now they're going to take the time. And we fully, at the Department of Health, fully encourage those individuals to research, ask questions, talk to your healthcare provider about the vaccine so that you are comfortable and find out the life-saving measures that it can create. And as I said earlier, with our complete, what I would refer to as success with regard to having widespread social media, widespread media in the papers, in the press, in the news media, and having the conversations that are taking place right now, that is a success. It is an opportunity for us to bring individuals information, to encourage them to ask questions, and hopefully when they get those questions answered, they find that the vaccine is safe and they are willing to take the vaccine, which provides that life-saving measure. And we are, as I mentioned, we are already seeing that.
Next question is from Jon Reed at Gongwer News Service.
Good morning. For Director McLeod, how much has ODH already spent on other vaccine outreach and awareness campaigns, other efforts?
Thank you. We'll need to follow up with you on that. I don't have those numbers right here, but what I would say is I think this particular promotion has been a great use of dollars.
Next question is from Adrienne Robbins at WCMH in Columbus.
Thank you so much for taking our questions today. I've heard some criticism from lawmakers on the morality of incentivizing people to make a healthcare decision. Do you see any problem with the Department of Health incentivizing, or some people have put it as bribing people to get a vaccine and make a decision when it comes to their health?
Thank you for that question. No, we do not. This is not, we're not paying people. You are not guaranteed to win anything. We're not meeting you at the vaccine site, slipping you a 20 or a C note to get the vaccine. This is something that is just a bold initiative to raise that awareness so that individuals ask those questions. And hopefully if they were, again, on the fence or not sure or thought maybe they'd wait a little while, now they'll take the opportunity, ask those questions and move us forward toward our goal.
Next question is from David Skolnick at the Warren Tribune Chronicle and Youngstown Vindicator.
Hi, this is for Mr. McLeod.
when you, well, actually for anybody, when you're doing the drawing, not the most recent one, but the one that will be like the following week, will it always be a Sunday deadline for a Monday drawing to be vaccinated?
Yes, you will find that in your commonly asked questions, as well as the official rules, that we have all of the entry date deadlines, the drawing dates, and the announcement dates. If you, and I'm begging folks, one of the questions that I have received, and the media can help us with this, is that this is not for just newly vaccinated individuals. This is anyone. So if you were vaccinated in a facility or as a healthcare worker last December, you are eligible to enter and opt in to this drawing. And we could use your help with that, because there does seem to be a little bit of confusion. So if you have had the vaccine anytime prior to the May 23rd, 2021 deadline, and you opt in and you're an eligible Ohioan, you can be part of the drawing. If you are not the drawn winner, then your name automatically will stay in the pool for the following drawing, that the deadline is May 30th. But those deadlines, those are all provided in the commonly asked questions, as well as the official rules.
Next question is from Gil McClanahan at WCHS in Charleston, West Virginia.
Hi, Director. I think you literally just answered my question. I was going to ask you that, okay, if I register for the first drawing, I don't win. Can I register for the additional drawings each week?
Thank you. Yes, you got that exactly right. You are eligible. Only winners of a prize, whichever the prize is, will be taken out of drawings for the following weeks.
Next question is from Monica Robbins at WKYC in Cleveland.
Thank you, directors. I have a couple of questions, one for each of you. So if somebody, we have a lot of snowbirds up here in Northeast Ohio. If someone was vaccinated in Florida, but they live half the year in Ohio, do they qualify? Can they register? And also, someone wants to know if the money can be given out in a lump sum, or is it in weekly payments?
Thank you. The answer to your first question is yes. If you are a permanent Ohio resident, regardless of where you got your vaccine, and this is part of the reason that we need that 48 hours to verify, because now we're going to have to call down to Florida providers. Did you get it at Walgreens? And we ask those questions. But yes, we will. If you were a permanent Ohio resident, if you got vaccinated, we don't care where. As long as we can verify it through some combination of your vaccination card or the vaccine provider, you are more than eligible. I've already forgotten your second question. I'm sorry, Monica. Can you repeat your second question?
Lump sum.
They wanted to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it is paid out. I believe, Director McDonald, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember when, but it's paid out in a lump sum. But the official rules state how long. It's a period of time after the drawings. It'll be paid out, but it is a lump sum.
No, absolutely. It is a lump sum, and we will try to expedite to get that payment out as soon as possible.
Next question is from Jess Harden at mahoningmatters.com. I think we're having issues with Jess's audio. We'll skip her and come back to her right after this next question from Tom Jackson at the Sandusky Register.
I was wondering if the scholarship contest, can you go to a private university for a full ride, or is it only for public Ohio universities?
Thank you, Tom. The audio there was a little bit muddled, but I believe what you asked me is if you can attend a public university. Private university in Ohio. This provides full tuition for kind of the most expensive public university in Ohio. But if you would, we're certainly reviewing whether or not you want to transfer that to another Ohio university that is private, but it will be an Ohio university, and the amount looks like we are going to have the amount kind of at the most expensive public university. That's what we will cover. I need to know what it's covered, but we're continuing to evaluate that. Thank you.
We'll try again with Jess Harden at mahoneymatters.com.
I think they should.
All right. Without Jess, I think we are down to our last question for everybody who's signed up. Actually, we just got one more, and that is from Caylee Kirby at WTOL. We'll have one more after Caylee.
Hi, I have a quick question. We've talked a lot about 18 and older. For those who are 12 to 17, will they also have to opt in as well, or their parents will have to opt them in? That's just for clarification.
Thank you. Yes, 12 to 17 will in fact need to opt in. They can opt in without their parent, but they will need a parent to verify all their information if their name is drawn. Parent or legal guardian, I apologize. Parent or legal guardian.
Thanks.
All right. We do have a few additional questions coming in. I'll try and get in everybody who hasn't asked a question yet. One of those is from Scott Hallis at the Xenia Daily Gazette.
Hi, thanks for taking our questions. My understanding is that people who are not able to get a vaccine for health reasons are not eligible for the drawing. What would you say to those folks who feel like they're being discriminated against because they want to get the vaccine, but for health reasons they can't?
Thank you. This certainly is in no way intended to discriminate against those individuals. This is simply as is everything else when we're trying to increase awareness and uptake. This money's targeted at those individuals who may be on the fence, who are eligible to uptake it, but have not made that decision yet, maybe haven't asked those questions that they need to have asked.
All right. According to the Zoom chat, this is our last question, and it belongs to Pete Grieve from Spectrum News.
Hi, this is for Director McLeod. I'm just wondering if the sort of the same process for verifying vaccination for the lottery can be applied to concerts down the road, and if Ohio is working with any companies to make digital vaccine verification for large events possible.
Thank you. We are not working with any private individuals. We are not working on any digital or otherwise any sort of passport. Individuals have a vaccine card, and should operators want to have special circumstances for fully vaccinated individuals, they can work through those. But no, this is, again, one of the reasons that we moved to the opt-in is that you waive, it allows us to verify that information, and we would be using it just for purposes of this promotion. Thank you everybody so much for the interest. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're excited about this. We're excited about how much interest there is, not only in the program, but interest in the vaccine. Anecdotally, we're hearing great stories. Obviously, there's no way to prove anything we don't ask when people come in, there isn't a box they check, are you here because you want to enter? But anecdotally, we're getting some very good feedback of groups that are showing up for vaccination at local health districts that say, we're here to win the lottery. We were on the fence about the vaccine, but I was probably going to get it anyway. I may as well get it now. And as we know, the sooner people get the vaccine, the better the effect, because the less likely not only they have of getting COVID, but they have of spreading COVID going forward, which is that many fewer people who it is spread to. So thank you so much, everybody, for your time today. Director McDonald, any closing comments?
No, thank you, Director McLeod. You hit the nail on the head here. Perfect. I just want to say, you know, if you, as a motto we use, if you don't play, you can't win. So, you know, get into our lottery, register at ohiovax-a-million.com. It's an exciting time for the lottery. It's an exciting time for the state of Ohio. So the odds are great. Let me tell you, the odds are better than any other game that we have out there in terms of multi-state games or even Ohio Classic Lotto. So you have a great chance of winning. So please sign up and register on our website. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you everybody for participating. If you have any follow-up questions after the event, please contact any of the media contacts on the press advisory that was sent earlier. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.